Okay, KS01 will create a common cost center 01 2023 LAP 9 KS maps KS01. Okay, we are creating a common cost center because during entry mentioning each cost center in every entry is not possible. Humanly, it's not, because it can be error prone. So what we do, we create a common cost center and then we repost the cost to all these cost centers. Okay, category will be production. Hierarchy area will be the same. Standard hierarchy. And since because controlling, and this is an interview question, why during creation of cost center currency is disabled? Because there are two reasons. First is, in controlling area we're using group currency, and in profit center area settings we are using controlling area currency. Okay, so that's the reason. Okay. Save. Okay, cost center has been made. Let's create an entry FB01L. Currency rate SAR 40, 400, 500. Okay. Salary account 2000. Okay. 500, 600, 9,000, 1,000, 100, 691. Cost center to 2,000. Post. Okay. 102 was posted. Okay. Next is KE5Z. Okay. VAP's posting period is 1 to 12. Execute. Okay. Profit center, local currency, which is USD. And FICO documents. Okay. Accounting document. Let's check that. Salary, rent, cash account. Okay. Cost center, VAP dummy. We didn't mention any profit center. It was empty, so it by default picks up the dummy account, dummy profit center, because any cost center with no representation in profit center hierarchy is represented by dummy. That's the behavior of the system. Profit center document. Okay, VAP dummy 405406 in USD, and layout, choose with company code currency. Okay, 36.9 converted into USD. Okay, and this is controlling document. Okay, controlling document. Salary 96 in USD, and we can select the layout. Primary cost posting, secondary cost posting, and it is basically showing you the transaction, and the business transaction is coin. RFBU BU is also a transaction. Okay, so we can select. Okay, and this is the offsetting account, which is cash account. Okay, clear. KB11N. Okay, now what we will do is 01/11/2023. Okay, this is how we are going to repost the cost, and let's do it. Cost center old amount. Oh no, no, let's do it in another way. Cost element amount. Okay, SAR, SAR, SAR. Enter. This is just a warning, and we are posting from 10 to 1003. Okay, fine. Post document is posted under 90. So we have actually captured all the amounts, and we have transferred to 101 and 102 and 3. Okay, now let's check the KSB1 report. Okay, now we have multiple amounts that have been transferred to cost centers from primary cost posting, business object, and segment. Okay, now this will actually show in controlling area currency and in company code currency as well, with business transactions that we have done. Okay, the transferred amounts are also included. So body shop assembling 101 and 102 have been used. Fine. All clear?
क्या आपने कॉमन से उठा के वापस दूसरे कॉस्ट सेंटर पे ट्रांसफर करवाया?
Yes. Cost center. Let's take multiple entries. And multiple entries 101, 102, 103, and 2000. Okay, execute. Select one of the alternatives specified. Okay, now over here we have a list of, first it was 55, now it is 90, because in production cost center group 103 is not included, I believe. So over here we have 3 Cost centers 101, 2, and 3, and 2000 also. In 2000, there is nothing right now. It is 00. Okay, because it has transferred everything from 2000. Okay. Now comes in our explanation, and that explanation will be helpful. Okay. Now, the topic that we are going to discuss is a new topic. Okay. Now, cost center to cost center, costs are distributed as we have seen. Okay. So, we have two types, rather, we have multiple types of distributions. First is allocation. Periodic allocations are done for planning data. Planning data is planned activity, planned costing, planned quantity, planned material, planned expenses. These are planned at the start of every month. That is planning data at the beginning of the period. So posting data will be first day of the period. Periodic allocations are done for actual data at the end of the period. Actual data is done at end of the period, and posting date will be last day of the period. So following periodic allocation methods are available. They can be used for allocating both planned and actual cost and activity quantities. So we have activity allocation, cost allocation. Now, by activity, we mean activity done by labor, by machine, by department is activity. Periodic allocations are of four types. Distribution, used for allocating primary costs. What are primary costs? Coming from finance. Periodic reposting, it's just like distribution. Okay. Assessment, this is for using allocating primary and secondary costs. Primary from FI, secondary within controlling is secondary. Indirect activity allocation is, it is used for allocating activity type like man hours, machine hours, and quantities. Okay, based on some metrics. That's why it becomes indirect. We will see later on. In distribution, primary cost elements are used, which are GOs. Periodic reposting, again, same as distribution. Assessment uses secondary cost element, which are exclusive to controlling area. Okay, and category is assessment. And indirect secondary cost element, internal allocation are used. Okay, in distribution, breakup of cost element level is available as we have seen in cost center report just now. And you can see detailed breakup of the allocations from 2000 to 101, 102, and 3. Periodic reposting, that is similar distribution. In assessment, data is summarized on cost element level, not on cost center level. And indirect is summarized with allocation cost elements. Distribution used for plan and actual. Periodic reposting is for actual. Assessment is for plan and actual. And allocation, indirect allocation is also for plan and actual. Detailed analysis is available at sender and receiver. Sender was 2000, receiving was 101, 102. And in periodic reposting, analysis is available at receiving cost center. In what we saw in SAP is the details are available at the receiver cost center. Okay, sender details are not available. This is a periodic reposting. Okay, in distribution and reposting, used if sender cost center is important for cost analysis. If 2000 was important, use if sender is just a cost collector. In our case, it was just a cost collector used to simplify account assignment. Okay, like common cost center. Okay, so this creates more number of line items and uses more memory, and this creates less memory. Direct activity allocation is used for recording actual quantities of material, labor hours, machine hours of activity types consumed by the receiving CO object. CO object is cost center, or it can be material, it can be stock, can be GL. This allocation happens when an activity type is consumed by receiving controlling object, which is cost center or GL or material or production order. So this is not a periodic allocation. KB21N is the T code that will be used for direct activity. Direct activity is being consumed by cost center then and there, and it is being absorbed by the cost center. So cost centers that are being used, this is the relationship that we have created. We have to create more. We have created 3, 2, and 1. We'll create 4, 6, 8, 9, 11 also. Assessment. Cost center cafeteria is used by other cost centers as shown in following table. Allocation method uses assessment. SKF, number of employees, is the allocation criteria. SKF is statistical key figure. Now, this is a metric or a criteria. It's the criteria. You don't have to confuse with SKF. What is SKF? So what is SKF? Cafeteria charges are to be allocated based on number of employees of each cost center. And cost center cafeteria itself has 5 employees. So employees are using cafeteria for food, lunch, and refreshments. So based on the number of employees, the assessment will be done. Okay. And based on this criteria, out of 75, out of total of all this, cafeteria will be charged to 101, and so on for 102. Periodic reposting, this is to simplify FI postings. We use cost collector, cost center. We can post costs like rent, salaries, charges to cost collector during the period. At period end, we allocate to 3 production cost centers in the basis of 50, 30, 20% to these cost centers. Okay, so that is periodic reposting. Okay. And the criteria SKF, statistical key is this, and figures is the numbers that will be charged to this, numbers used, electrical units. Distribution. Cost center plant end takes care of 3 production cost centers. Cost like salaries of administration department, stationery, vehicle, and so on are recorded in the cost center. At period end, we allocate all the cost to 3 production cost centers using distribution. Salaries is based on number of employees in the receiver cost center. Stationary charges, traveling expenses are allocated based on percentage basis. So this is number of employees, this is usage basis. Okay, salaries based on numbers, stationary charge, vehicle maintenance based on usage. Indirect activity is very important because it's a little tricky. Over here, activity is testing hours in the quality department, because quality control gives quality check to 3 production cost centers. So the activity type main is testing hours. So you have to charge hours, and it is to be allocated 3 production cost centers. So the quantity of test hours allocated based on number of tested items. So if production cost centers are producing something, those items will be tested, and based on that, hours will be charged to the receiving cost centers. That's it. That is basically how tricky it is. Direct activity, plant maintenance gives maintenance service to 3 production cost centers. Activity type is maintenance hours to be allocated 3 production cost centers. Actual quantity of maintenance hours record in receiving cost and when the services are consumed. Allocate activities maintenance hours allocation method uses direct activity allocation. So you are consuming directly without using any other metric. Allocation by assessment using secondary cost element. SKF statistical key figure used is as a basis to allocate cost from one cost center to other. If total number of employees in 3 costs is 300, cafeteria charge will be shared between 3 costs based on number of employees. Okay, that is understandable. So salaries and rent total is 72,000, and that will be charged to the cost centers. Okay, sender will be cafeteria, and it will be credited, and the receiving are 102,103. Since because this assessment we can only get a summary on this level, and that will be this summary. Okay, so summary will be this. Charges are being allocated to the respective cost centers, and the balance is 0. Total is 72,000, and that's it.